Had some ups and downs. Good having the bye week this week. Definitely have some things to clean up. Always need to work and improve, but have had a couple good weeks of practice, so looking forward to getting back out on the field.
What were some of those areas of focus during the two off weeks around the Clemson game?
Always fundamentals. Work on that every single week. Communication, fundamentals. Just keep working through the guys on the roster, and just taking it one day at a time.
Yeah, Steve, Jeremiah Holloway with Inside Carolina. In the three losses that you all had, it seemed first quarter, first half, the score kind of really get out of hand pretty quickly. From your perspective on the sideline and having been able to look at it, what did you think were maybe some of those common threads as to, I guess, how things kind of maybe spiraled from the defensive standpoint?
Yeah, I mean, I think every game, plays out differently. How it starts, who starts with the ball, the possessions, field position, all that type of stuff. So we've looked at all that, gone through it with everybody, and we obviously have to do a better job, and that's what we're working towards. But just appreciate the players working hard, trying to keep improving, and take it one day at a time.
Yeah, the other day we were talking to Andrew Simpson. He was mentioning kind of starting faster from a defensive standpoint. I guess what are some practical ways to from defensively kind of get out the quicker starts and kind of set the tone on that.
Yeah, I mean, just got to be ready to go. Got to be ready to go out there and play fast, not be thinking too much about the game and the calls and stuff like that, and just go out there and play free. And so trying to do that every single week. So we've had some good starts and we've had some slow starts, so we just got to be more consistent.
On the left there.
You mentioned the communication aspect of it all. Players, you mentioned that after the Clemson game, like some blown coverage and stuff like that. How do you practically go about building better communication and kind of being on the same page in practice?
Just making sure everybody spends enough time together so that everybody's on the same page, and don't want to put too much on their plate. Still building those relationships out on the field where you need a little bit more verbal communication. Sometimes you can just have visual communication and look at somebody and know what's going on out there. But working through those things, and players have been doing a really good job with it. So I think it'll improve.
Second row in the center.
It's Brad Murphy with WRL. You spent time, obviously, at Washington last year and time in the pros. How much have you talked to other coaches, including your dad, about the differences between dealing with college kids and maybe dealing with professionals and all of that goes into some of that stuff?
Not too much, to be honest. I mean, I think every relationship that you have with somebody is different. So you just got to, build those relationships with people and figure out what makes them tick. It's hard to generalize that and just say that this is how you deal with one group and this is how you deal with another group. So everybody's different, and got to treat everybody fairly. Not the same, but fairly. So just working through those relationships, it's hard to just say, this is how it is here, this is how it is there. So I think there's more that goes into it.
You obviously brought Thad over with you, or he came to lose him for, Bill said, a significant period of time. What does that do to your defense, and what does it do for him?
Yeah, I mean, he was a really good player for us. It definitely is unfortunate. Never want to lose a player, but it's also, it's part of the game. So we'll still play with 11. We won't play with 10 just because he's out there, or he's not out there. So need everybody to step up and raise their level of play. Whether he was out there or not, that's what we all are striving to do. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is now.
Front row on the right here.
Noah Weisstoff with Tar Heel 24/7. Do you envision yourself spending a little bit more time with the cornerbacks room now with Armin away from the team, and I guess also to Ryan's point with Thaddeus out?
I try and spend time with all the groups. I wouldn't say it's tilted too much. We're just wherever I need to be is where I go.
Is Ryan going to be primarily taking over that position if Armin's away, or is there a different plan in place?
Yeah, I mean it's a group effort. The whole defensive staff is working hard at everything we need to do. So it's hard to just pinpoint and say that since this happened, this is going to change. So everybody's been doing a little bit different stuff.
Second row on the left here, coach.
Showcase also with the Newsoms, obviously there have been reports of just tension, frustration in the locker room, reports of fights in the locker room, just from your standpoint, like give you a chance to describe how you see the team culture, where it's at right now, just your evaluation of kind of the team morale and the culture.
Yeah, I think we've had a really good week of practice. I think anybody who's a competitor is frustrated when they lose. So, it starts with me on defense. I got to do a better job, and trickles down through everybody. So we all got to do better. But I appreciate the frustration to a point, just because that means they care. We're putting in a lot of work to go out there and compete at a high level, and it hasn't always shown. So we'll try and get out there and do better. But should be frustrated when you lose.
Yeah, I guess just a quick follow-up on that again, you should be frustrated. Sometimes, a scuffle or something like that, guys can get into it at practice versus like a fight, just any sort of information, or can you illuminate exactly the reports of the fights?
Yeah, I don't know anything about the fights or anything like that.
Back row, standing.
Todd Gibson, CBS 17. Obviously, your dad's had huge success through the years. When he's going through times like this as a son, how does that affect you? How hard is that on you? How do you do that?
I'm my own person. I mean, I've been in some my whole life. I don't really know any different, but I got a job to do. He's got a job to do. We're working together, obviously, but yeah, I mean, I'm my own person.
Third row on the right here.
Trevor Miles, ABC 11. Stephen, you guys are categorically and statistically down in a lot of different places. But is there anything I'm curious in particular that you see that you guys are doing good and you want to continue to elevate?
Yeah, I mean, there's the stats are the stats. I mean, you always wish that they were better, but that stuff, can be skewed one way or another. All those things should be better, but no, I appreciate the players' work, and there's a lot of challenges this week from the Cal offense that we need to be ready for, and I think we'll be ready.
And then just to follow up, is there anything what gives you the confidence that you guys can get this thing turned around?
Just the work that the players are putting in.
Second row on the left, Adam.
Steve Adamson at Inside Carolina. When you guys kick off Friday night, I think it would be you played one time. You will have played one time over your last 26 days. It's been a ton of time to sort of reflect on what you're doing. Like, what have you looked at personally? I don't know, play calling maybe, or just personnel that you've tried to sort of dig into to get some improvement here. Like, what are you looking at in terms of your own evaluation?
Yeah, I mean, you're excuse me, you're always evaluating, yourself and the group that you're with and what you're doing. So, I mean, that stuff happens constantly. You don't want to go back over it too much and start chasing ghosts and second guessing. You go with your gut instinct and you go with the information that you get. You can go through it a little bit slower because you have more time, but you don't want to keep going through it and I should have done this, I should have done that. We put a plan in place every week and try and go out there and execute it. And some has been good, some has been bad, but then you reflect on it and move forward. But I know those guys are excited to go out there and play this week.
Front row on the right.
Hey, Coach, Grant Satcher, Turtles on that side. Your dad mentioned on Monday about the Cal's wide receiver core. What have you seen from them throughout them? What, in your opinion, what makes them so good?
Yeah, I mean, they got big receivers outside, make a lot of good plays on 50-50 balls. They got a good slot receiver who lines up all over the place, goes in motion a lot. So we definitely have our hands full. Tight ends are good, lines good, interior lines definitely experienced. They got a good back. They got a young quarterback, but he's doing a good job out there. So we'll be ready for everything.
And then Mason Minnie, their tight end, he's been great this year. He hasn't had a drop all year. What have you seen from his game? What are some of the plays you guys have to kind of limit him in the offense?
Yeah, I mean, everybody's got to be ready to go. He competes in the run game. He's good in the pass game. He's definitely a good player. He's got good size, good attributes. So, yeah, we're looking forward to the challenge.
Front row on the left.
Yeah, obviously, Blake mentioned that being out. Who are some of the, defensive backs that you kind of noticed in the last week or so of practice stepping up? Obviously, I know, Jaden was a guy that got a lot of reps against Clemson. But who are some of the guys that have been filling in for that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a group effort from everybody. So we'll see how it goes once we get out there. But everybody's got to be ready to go. We've played a lot of guys this year, so I don't see that changing too much.
Two more here, Brian, and then back to Adam.
Have you guys made any changes to, assignments or personnel or the way you're calling plays or anything like that over the last, since the Clemson game? Are you rolling out anything different against Cal?
Yeah, I mean, everything changes, week to week. You go back and review the film after the game and see how things went and see how it worked against what the opponent did, and then going into the next week, you change or adjust it based on what you've done and what you plan to do going forward. So yeah, we do that every week.
But you're still going to call plays, you'll still be on the field, all that stuff's coming to.
Yes.
Adam, finished up.
Steve, was that about the worst first quarter you've experienced in the Clemson game?
That's one thing I didn't do over the 26 days, I guess, is go back through all the first quarters that I've been a part of. But yeah, no, it wasn't good, but hopefully it's better this week. That's what we're working towards.
And what would you say just were the things that stood out that you could, the main things that need to be corrected from that start against Clemson?
Just doing our jobs and tackling. I think if you do those things, then you'll be all right.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, David.
Appreciate it.
Defense, how would you assess where the offense is through 5 games?
I think, some of the progress we've made hasn't showed up on the scoreboard, but I think we have made progress from, if you go back and look at TCU, moving on to Charlotte, moving on to Richmond, UCF, and now, Clemson. I think we've made progress. It doesn't always show up on the scoreboard, but we've made progress in different areas, and we just need to continue to stay where our feet are and get better each and every day, and eventually we'll get the results that we want.
Yeah, specifically, what are some of those areas you've seen progress over the last few weeks?
I think the communication's gotten better from the standpoint of the quarterback to the line to the backs, the receivers to the quarterback. There's communication all over the field that happens every play. I think that communication's gotten better, definitely, which increases your chances to be successful in individual play. And then you string enough of those together, and you get success. And it really can, you can cut this thing down into drives or plays or whatever, but each and every play is its own entity and has a different set of problems or a different set of communication rules and things like that, and then you get that going. But if you have a misstep along the way, that's how you get sometimes bogged down and don't have the result that you want.
Front row on the right.
If I know West
Hey, no.
24/7, can you just sort of break down for us over what you've seen the first 5 games between Max and then Gio specifically?
Yeah, I think, both those guys offer leadership abilities, capabilities. They've both made plays in different parts and all that sort of thing. I like being around both those guys. They bring a little bit different aspects to the game from their perspective, but both of them kind of stayed the course and understand that they're trying to get better each and every day, and they've done a really good job of that.
On their play specifically on the field, what sort of difference have you seen? Because I know there's some uncertainty still with Gio's ability or his health and those kinds of things.
Yeah, I think you evaluate once they're on the field. You evaluate it moving forward and stuff like that. But both those guys have had ups and downs. They'd be the first to tell you that. It's just like offensively, we just need to be more consistent along the way. And I'd say they say the same thing, both of them.
Front row on the left.
Yeah, Jeremiah Hall with
Hey, Jeremiah.
Freddie, to ask you about the one game, of course, Devon June had, shown a lot of flashes about the depth chart. I know Benjamin Hall, they kind of split the carries every day, or a couple weeks ago against Clemson.
Right.
Where do you kind of see that room right now? And I guess from a productivity standpoint, what are some things that you kind of see that you look at and you say, maybe this can change, just kind of get more of these yards per carry?
Yeah, I think, first of all, I really like the room. I think we're very versatile in that room. We got a couple guys that offer different strengths and weaknesses and things like that. And secondly, I like the room because they work their tail off each and every day. As far as getting more yards per carry, it's just like it's a microcosm of everything else. Everybody needs to do their job just a little bit better, communicate just a little bit better. And they would be the first to say that they need to do their job just a little bit better. So I need to do my job better. Everybody needs to do their job just a little bit better each and every day, and then you'll start seeing the results. Like we want to see the results on the scoreboard, you'll start seeing results on yards per carry if that's what your main goal is.
Yeah, and then to follow up on that with June and with Hall, how do you kind of see their games, I guess, kind of complementing each other? since they kind of have, these similar looks, how do you kind of see their games coming?
I think, that's a good question. Juju's still a freshman, so he hasn't seen as many, he hadn't been to many circuses and fairs that Ben's been to, and he's seen a little bit more. So just the experience aspect, I think, gives, Ben some different aspects in the protections and run keys and things like that Juju has.
Front row, far left, Adam.
Freddie, Adam Smith in South Carolina. People aren't happy about the production on offense, obviously. I know you know that. To what extent have you all talked about, looked at, thought about changing who's calling the plays offensively?
That's never been brought up, never been discussed. But I think we always look to see how we can get better each and every day that we go out to practice, and each day that. Or each game day and all that kind of stuff. We come out and reevaluate things and, go from there. So there's, of course, things I could have done better. I think we can say that all the way down the line. But sometimes you just got to keep your head down and go to work and try to get better.
Front row on the right here, Coach.
Hey, Coach Grant Sasser, Tor Hills on the side. Speaking of the offensive line, the protection and run blocking has been inconsistent throughout the season. How much of that has been trying to find the right pieces to on the offensive line as well as the injuries throughout the year?
Well, that's always the case every year. You deal with injuries and things like that. You make the best of the situation that you have. But, when you start talking about the game of football with 11 people having to be on the same page, communicate on every play, of course it starts up front, but it also has to do with other positions as well. So everybody has a hand in all the problems. But here's the beauty of football is we're all problem solvers. So we each and every day, each and every week try to solve the problems that present itself. And, those guys want to be more consistent, just like, I want to be more consistent, just like running backs want to be more, everybody wants to be more consistent. Now it's just a matter of doing it.
Second row.
Freddie, Brian Murphy, WRAL.
Yeah.
You're the only holdover on the staff between last year and this year, and I wondered if you could talk to the implementation of Bill's culture to the guys who were here under Mac, very different leadership style, it seems, and if that's caused any friction between the Mac holdover guys and the guys that have come in.
Yeah, I don't see that from that standpoint. What I see is a bunch of guys trying to come together and be one team, and I've seen that from the very beginning. And they're working hard at doing that, and they've gotten better at that, and they've increased that. But I think everybody here tries to work hard and tries to do the right thing.
Is there a giant culture shift between the way Mac Brown ran the program and the way Bill ran the program?
I think you've got you're talking to totally different people there. Just like I'm pretty sure my coaching style is not like a lot of people's coaching styles. So I don't want to get into like a comparison or anything like that. Of course they're different people. They've had different experiences, but both of them is very successful. So I try to learn from everybody I coach for, and I've been very fortunate to have been coached underneath both those guys.
Right next to
Show us also the news and observer, just following up on that again, as one of the holdovers, more recently, Lombardi and Belichick talked a lot about, they were kind of late coming here, right, to the, winter portal, obviously new to the whole portal kind of off-season of the recruiting thing. What role specifically do you play as one of the holdovers in kind of building this roster that we're sitting at?
Yeah, I think, as a coach, you kind of, I don't really, what are you asking? I'm sorry.
Yeah, just like what was your role in terms of kind of helping them and maybe navigating some of the portal or just building the roster maybe on the offensive side, I guess?
I think that goes from player to player, position to position, whatever. As coaches, we're asked to evaluate guys sometimes, and I really don't know how to answer that question from the standpoint of, no offense, but from the standpoint of, when I'm asked to evaluate somebody, I evaluate them. And of course, I was one of the first guys here to get things started, but we were preparing for the bowl game as well. So it's kind of one of those things where whatever you're asked to do at that moment, you kind of do. And so hopefully that answers your question. It probably doesn't, but
All right, thank you.
Yeah, appreciate it, guys. Appreciate y'all.